I'd like to call this meeting of the Berlin-Boylston Regional School Committee Budget, Facilities, and Safety Subcommittee to order. Okay, so our first item, I just wanted, and Nancy, just very briefly, to see, I know that the school committee is not voting on the budget until, I just looked, it's February 27th is the preliminary budget. So we've got plenty of time. But I just wanted to know if there's anything else you need or where you stand. Are you waiting on anything, or what can we do?
Sure.
You know.
So, waiting on that. The SRO is in. So the budget is in iVision, in the system right now.
Okay.
The SRO is in iVisions. I don't think that's been
The SRO.
officially determined if we're going in that direction, but I have it in. So that's one change that could happen. We currently are having a lot of movable pieces with out-of-district tuitions, so that part could change. So that
Favorably or unfavorably?
unfavorably, but still lots of movable pieces going on. And and everything else is status quo. So I have everything in, and I'm at the point where I'm putting it all together. I can give you a briefing of where we are at this point in time if you want dollar amount and percentages. We don't have to. Just
Julie, do you? I did not want any dollars. I just wanted
Okay.
to know if there was
Yep.
any
I do
red
have one
flags or
more.
roadblocks for you.
So I spoke with Cindy Sykes at BES.
Yes.
And she does have a need for a full-time adjustment counselor. That was one that we
yeah.
were watching.
Yeah.
So that has been put into the budget full-time.
Okay.
As
What
a
would the
full-time
increase
position.
on that be, Nancy? Do you know?
It
it
was
was a
0.40 FTE of
Was
the
it point-
salary of the, it depends on the salary.
To add a 0.4.
Yes, to add a 0.40. The person's
Yeah,
currently a
okay.
0.60.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's pretty much where we are, the fiscal year 25 budget.
Okay. All right, great. All right, so we have two finance things, one facility thing under new business. So do you want to first go over the FY24 budget to actuals
Sure.
that you're going to present for the meeting on Tuesday?
Sure.
All right, so
that's the
this.
sheet that's in blue.
The blue one, okay.
Yep.
Can I ask a question before we start?
Absolutely. Yep.
Unless you want to go back to the 3-year capital plan, you can do that after?
After.
All right, I'll do
Yeah.
that after. Yeah.
Okay. No questions on this one?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. So this is your standard format that I will start presenting quarterly. It's going to be submitted for review of where we stand with the year-to-date budget and submitted for your approval for budget transfers. So it's broken out in 4 different categories. You have your district-wide, and then it's broken out by schools. So to give you a brief overview of where we stand, our transportation for special education vans, we're coming over budget. We're coming over budget because at the beginning of the year, we contracted with Vanpool. Vanpool was unable to fulfill all of our routes, so we had to contract with a different vendor. They didn't have enough drivers. So due to this, the rates increased. So all 3 schools are coming over. We are currently over on unemployment. We had several employees, I think about 7 of them, 6 to 7, that have collected unemployment. Only 2 remain. So all 3 of the schools are coming over on our unemployment line item.
So wait, we had 6 or 7 people that we laid off?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. Yes, yeah. Or non-renewed. Yeah.
Or do not renew a contract?
Yes,
Gotcha.
yes, yeah. One, we're a little bit over on Tohoto with the gym floor, but I was able to make it up with the different line items. All of this, at this point in time, I'm able to make up with different line items, and we're in good position. And we had a mentor in the district offices that wasn't budgeted, that put us over on that line item. So, and that's for all schools. All 3 of those affect all schools. Things I'm watching, our athletic fields are at a max. Our mower broke in the fall at Tohoto, and we had to have a vendor mow our fields. Between this and the extra irrigation that was needed for the athletic fields, we're maxed out on this line item. So when the spring comes, we know we're going to end up being over. Our mower is fixed. We're going to be able to mow our lawns again. But I'm imagining that we're probably going to have some stuff we're going to need to, some repair treatment that we're going to need to do to the athletic fields.
Yeah.
At this point in time, there's definitely money, movement that can happen. But right now, that is a line item that I'm watching.
Yeah.
It's definitely at that break even. Athletic coaching, we have a little bit of extra money in that right now. In the fall, we didn't have a girls' middle school field hockey coach, so we have savings to that. And right now, for cheerleading, is Robin high school or middle school? I think she's high school, right?
I thought she was high school.
Okay, so we didn't hire a middle school.
High school?
What's the name?
Robin,
The
she's a
cheerleading,
cheerleading
it's
coach.
high school
High school,
cheerleading,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, our middle school's on it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, so she'll only get one stipend, and because usually
Yeah.
it's broken out if there's enough students, that's how it's budgeted.
Yeah.
So we'll have an extra stipend for a coach, but that helps us with the other issues that I discussed. So it helps with the movement. Overall, we're in a great position. Percentage-wise, we should be around a 34% overall for most of everywhere. If you look district-wide, our total is at 34%. It varies by school, but at this point in time, I don't have any concerns. The one thing that I did want to address, we have had movement. You can't really go into detail. The only way we could do it with out-of-district tuitions is having an executive session. But we have had movement with the out-of-district tuitions in Berlin Memorial Elementary School. Due to this, the forecasted projection and circuit breaker has changed. So if you'll see a page that looks like this, and it says circuit breaker, and that is the new forecasted circuit breaker. It's actually more favorable at this point in time.
Oh, yeah.
But like I said, there's other things that might be happening, so this is, as of today, where we stand in circuit breaker.
Okay.
This is the district.
This is district-wide, not by school.
Okay.
And at this point in time, this is our ending balance in circuit breaker is forecasted for fiscal year '24 at about $345,000. Yep. And that is my very quick overall review.
So we
of-
have to, so these transfers, we just have to vote on
You
this
have to vote on the transfers. Yep.
And we do this on a quarterly, or this is the mid-year?
quarterly basis.
That's this.
That's these transfers right here?
Yeah.
Right, but
Yeah.
you know what I want to ask
Yep.
you about this? Given what Nancy just told us, and I know she has that in the line items, like just a couple, some language about that, would you want her to put in writing a brief, like a summary, nothing like page long, but make it into a, because
For the
I
transfers?
find my experience, and I think I'm hearing this from the school committee, is wanting more, not necessarily detail, but like detail, but being able to go back to it and say, oh yeah, this is
Yeah.
what we talked about. This was the reason why. In other words, Nancy, I think
I
what we're
agree,
looking
Cal.
at, and this is what I'm trying to do this, so this is what I would say to you. So if it just says unemployment or unbudgeted mentor, just a little bit more about that whole write-up. I want to defer to you, Megan, if that's
Yeah,
something you
is
want.
I mean, you might be able to say, exceeding budget on special transportation vans. We had budgeted, 10,000, and it ended up being 30,000 because of what you just said.
Lost it.
And then unemployment, is that just fees, or are we?
We pay the unemployment.
So
We're
we're
a regional school district, and the regular school district,
So we
public
pay
school
all the
district,
full-
town pays. We pay.
the full amount of unemployment for that. That's why I'm trying to understand how that
yeah,
works.
we pay the full amount
So
of
we don't have any
unemployment.
type of insurance for that.
No. It doesn't.
Okay.
No.
All right. So that's interesting. It's because if that's totally different than how things work in corporate America.
Yeah, it's totally different from the public school I was at too, because the town paid it. So here, because we're regional, we pay it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's the regional
Okay.
part.
So I would just, if you could.
Unbudgeted mentor and district offices, that's pretty self-explanatory. We added in,
I mean, I have the dollar amounts. It's easy. I mean, I didn't.
Yeah, I would agree with Carol. I would give a little more detail on
Sure.
it, just so on the floor
For the
people aren't
record,
asking.
so right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
savings
that's what I'm
identified.
thinking.
Yeah,
Because I think
I
that's
can
been
say this is what was budgeted, and this is where I believe we will be.
Yeah.
In these line
Why,
items.
I would even add the
the
why.
why. It's even helpful for me, and I'm finding that I've been trying to do that for this school committee meeting. You'll see that in the drive, things that I've been working
Yeah.
on, templates I've sent to the administrators and things we're putting together. Because I think going back in the records too, for all of us, it's helpful to go back and say, oh yeah, this makes sense now, I remember this.
Right,
Sure.
yeah.
I'm finding I'm remembering less buzzwords about things and I need more details.
I agree.
As we have more buzzwords
Correct.
coming
Yep.
to us.
Why does Berlin always have an issue with electricity? Is it because of that pellet thing?
No, I don't think so.
I'm just reading,
Yeah,
you wrote
yeah.
monitoring expenses related to legal and electricity,
Yeah.
monitoring expenses related to
Yeah, it
legal,
is the
monitoring
only
expenses
one.
related to legal and landscaping for
I can
athletic.
tell you what it's at. Let's see.
Yeah, so that would be good. That would be the why. Yeah.
Yeah, because like, that would, well, no, because they have a different, remember
I really
we talked to
don't.
them because they have a different way they do electricity in Berlin. Remember we talked to, who was telling us about this? Boylston has, Kristen was talking about this. Berlin, you guys go through, who does
Oh,
your
yeah,
electricity?
there's the
We have a
op-
municipal in Boylston,
Yes.
so it's a set rate.
Correct. Yes.
So
yes, we don't.
Berlin, what do you guys have?
Oh my gosh.
Are you like in a co-op or
National
something?
Grid.
But
Yeah.
National Grid, okay, but they have, didn't they like agree to a rate or some?
But she, and if you remember too, I'm glad you mentioned that, she said in the finance committee meeting that she, down the road, could we talk about that we might want to include the school to get involved in that? And so she was going to have a future
Right, because we're
discussion
not
with us
right
about
now,
it.
we're just
Yeah,
going on
right,
National
that's
Grid's
what we want,
rates, which probably fluctuates much more than municipal, the municipal
Correct.
one in Boylston.
Yeah.
Versus, yes, Kristen brought that up, I
Yeah.
can't remember, it was at the FinCom
Fine,
meeting.
FinCom meeting.
Yeah, do you
wanna
remember that?
follow up on that with her?
No, then after the meeting, Joyce told me that on the way out that she didn't think that would work with us.
For the school?
Yeah, but we should follow up
I'd
because I
follow up
really
with
didn't.
Kristen on it. Can
wasn't
you
in-
note that,
yeah.
Nicole, just so we can, I'll give Kristen a call and see if she can just talk to us
If
about
the
it.
school can get on that they have some, like it's a rate lock or something like that, or
I don't
a,
know enough about
it's
it.
an agreement, I
Right,
think.
right.
But you have to buy.
I believe we have it in Boylston, just with. Yeah.
Yeah, let's
Well,
find out.
Boylston has the municipal, so
Right,
it's,
right.
yeah.
It makes it different.
Yeah. Okay.
The other thing was health insurance. I didn't touch upon that. You know, that there's. I just want to make sure they're all the same. Sorry. So the health benefits, not just health insurance, for BMS and BES. Right at this point in time, there's savings that are identified in those line items, which will help us with our over line items. You know, you budget as best as you can when it comes to benefits, but at the end of the day, you don't know who's going to go on and who's going to go off, especially when it comes to new employees.
Yep.
And the other thing I wanted to bring up was legal. We are at 50% of spending with legal. A tad over, because over the summer you're usually not that busy, and during the school year you use your legal more. So it's another line item that I'm monitoring.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, sounds good.
Yep. Okay, and I'll take that into, I'll make adjustments according to what we just discussed.
Yeah, if you can
Yep.
do that for the end of the day, just send it to
Sure.
Nicole to put in the drive with your
Yep.
report, it would be really helpful.
All right.
All right, so do we want to move on to capital? Did you have any other questions, Julie?
No, it ties in the capital. So.
Oh, all right, so you want to start capital plan?
Yeah. So this is our 5-year capital plan. I met with IT and facilities, broken out by all 3 schools. So I think we've already, I don't know if you want me to go through it all or if you have questions. If you just want to look at for fiscal year 25. So for fiscal year 25, we still have the AC. So in BMS, we have the AC. We have the composite shingle roof area, card swipes in IT for Chromebooks and iPads. which come to 1.3 million.
This is a 5-year plan or a 3-year plan?
5.
So they're all 5?
All 5. Yeah. And then in 26, we have HVAC repairs.
Wait, it's this sheet, so you see all 5 years. Berlin.
Right here.
So there's year 1, year 2,
says
year
3-year
3, year 4, year 5. So they would be
Is that-
spending all of this in year 1.
Need to change it?
Right, but then
That's
this
what- that's
says
what-
3.
That's right. It
That's
says
what-
3. I gotta change
okay.
it.
Which one?
You know, it was a
Wilson.
5, and then it was a 3, and I built on it,
I
and
got
then I
it.
changed
Yep,
the header.
no
So
sweat.
good
I just have
catch.
to make sure.
I will.
Yep, thank you.
I'm gonna change that for the drive. Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. And then,
Same for Toronto,
Do you
yeah.
want to add? I want to add that other piece that we talked about.
yeah, so the other thing you'll
Okay.
find also in your packet looks like this.
Yes.
So this is the Massachusetts School Building Authority. I looked into this because I know that in January they open up for the letter of intent. So they do, and this, I thought I'd share all of the information about this with you. So this goes over the different options. There's 2 ways to apply for the letter of intent. I've never done this before, so this is definitely a lot of research. But so it says that on January 12th, the superintendent needs to obtain access to MASBA's online. Sorry, second page. I highlighted it. MASBA's SOI system, and then can be preparing the SOI. There are detailed instructions in the SOI and the SOI user guide, blah, blah, blah. And this will be on January 12th.
So they're gonna send Carol an email on January 12th.
But it looks like you probably need to reach out to MASBA, because I don't know if you have access to whatever the SOI system is. Yeah, we'll have to look into that, because that's coming up. And then our deadline for the repair program is March 1st. The deadline, if you choose to do in the core program, is April 12th. So
But the,
And the difference between those is all in here.
repair and my take on it: repair and new building. Core programs, new building. Repair is a new roof.
Okay.
The one thing I did notice, where is it? And I also included, there's a lot of questions and answers. Where is it? I thought I highlighted it. No, I quickly started looking at this last night. I haven't looked at it thoroughly. I don't see it now. Yeah. So the repair program reopening in 2024 is for partial or full replacement of roofs and windows and doors. District should submit 1 SOI per school for each school that they believe requires a project. Here it is. So if you go to the bottom
Feasibility study for roof projects will also include an evaluation to make the building solar ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So based on the qualifications for the ARP, a district should not file a SOI if the age of the system is less than below. The roof is less than 25 years old. So we can follow up with him, but I have written down that the roof at BMS is 22 years old. I do not know the age of the roof at BES. And I don't know where, yeah.
It's in phases.
That's what
Right.
I was thinking too.
So,
wonder if
I
it's
think
the
there's-
most recent.
yeah.
There's
Yeah.
probably not.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But that did stand out to me.
I mean, we have leaking windows at BES as well
Yeah. Yeah.
that were probably installed.
So I believe there's, let me look here. In fiscal year 28, Dan put in window replacements. He said that the windows are difficult to open and it's a safety hazard because they fall when they're open.
That's not good.
Yeah, so I did see that.
BES probably fits this.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Schools judged by the district to be overcrowded. We don't fall into that. The district is considering.
I wonder what the time turnaround is once they have.
I think, so I attended a webinar not that long ago. It seems very, like, we might not even know before, after the budget's approved.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like it's definitely a timely process.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
this is the same one that they talked about down at that the conference and applying for these too, they prioritize
Yeah,
Right.
by
right.
need, so this could be a couple of years out that they even
Right.
put us, give us a chance
Right.
for
Right.
this. So
Yeah.
that's something to think about as well.
So this is just roofs and windows. It says the facility should not apply if the SOI itself seeks construction beyond roofs or windows, doors. A facility condition not identified in the SOI remains unresolved from a previous MSBA SOI. That doesn't apply. The district is reviewing facility deficiencies to further identify its needs and priorities, or the district is unable to fund a schematic design within 90 days of invitation and a total project budget within 12 months of invitation. Those are the things I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
25 to 50 SOIs for the ARP annually, the number of invitations. Is this what Matt Meekum sent? This is what he was talking about, right?
This is the, I mean, he didn't send this. This is.
No, I know.
But yeah,
This is what he was- this
we're
is
on the
what
same
he-
webinar. Yes, this is what
Yes, this is
we're
what
talking
he-
about the same thing.
Okay, yeah. I
Yep.
just want to make sure it was the same thing,
Yes.
so that there wasn't something
Yes,
else.
this
we
is the
should
same
be
thing. Yep.
Going off on that tangent.
Yep.
Okay.
I just knew the deadline was coming up because you have to submit the statement of interest.
Okay.
So we don't want to miss, we want to make sure, A, that we get access to whatever this system is, and B, that we submit our letter of interest.
So this
By
would
the
be
deadline.
solely for BES.
I think
Because even though you can write for all the schools,
you,
BMS
well,
doesn't
you do
qualify.
want, I think it, well, I think we
Berlin
need to.
does not qualify. You cannot apply if the roof is less
Right,
than
that's what
25
Nancy
years
said.
old, or the windows or doors are less than 30 years old.
Are we positive that the roof in Berlin is less than
Installed
25? I
in
know
or
Dan
after
told me
2000.
22, but
Oh, that's cool.
No, because the school was built in 2000, right, Carol?
I was gonna say 1999. I think
Oh.
that's when they opened.
Boy, we're
Oh,
right
it
on
says
the cusp.
in
Right on.
or after
But you can find that out.
2000.
Because this
So if it
could
was
have just been a
99
guess
Berlin.
by Dan when we were having a discussion.
Yeah,
It doesn't
yeah.
mean
I
he
thought
looked
the
it
school
up.
was built 2000 in Berlin, but you would know better than me.
Because when I came in, we had the 10th year anniversary, so 2009, it was January they opened up. I can't believe I remember this. 19, that's 24 years. We still didn't hit it, right?
It says installed in or
25.
after 2000, because it's,
Yeah, but it has to still be 25 years, right?
no, it just says installed in or after the year
So
2000.
we might be able to.
Windows,
maybe.
doors are less than 30 years, installed in or after 95. So the windows or doors in Berlin would not qualify, but the
Right,
roof might.
But the roof might, yes, yeah.
So all that
And I
has to be done
wonder-
right now is you have to contact them. Is that what has to happen
Yeah.
first step?
Sounds
Yeah.
like it. Get access to the system, and then in
Yeah.
the system you then
Put in a.
is the letter of intent.
That's not due till March.
No.
It sounds like they
There's
come
two
out for
programs. So
review.
the one in March, oh, yes, sorry. April
March or
12th is the
April.
new building.
But I think
March
we
is the
have
other
to know
one.
what I'm
March,
putting in for
Right.
when
March
when I
1st.
get this opened
Yep.
up. And have
Yep.
that in by,
Yeah, this is definitely,
yeah, so Friday, March 1st
Right,
is our
right,
deadline.
Right.
So we don't want to let that fall.
All right,
So I wanted to make sure to share that.
all right.
So first you have to open communication.
Yeah, yeah. And I wonder, even if we put in, say, we don't know the actual age, right? So we're gonna look into it for the BMFS roof. Say it's not 25, but by the time they get to it, it's 2 years from now, and it will be 25. So do we still put it in? Maybe that's something we have to look into.
I could,
It might not
Could
be,
call and ask
yeah,
them.
but you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Because this
Yeah.
is Massachusetts. I bet they won't even.
Touch it.
Right.
Right, yeah.
So it's
Well, it
probably a waste
says
of work on your end.
If it was built, so if the school was built in 99 and they haven't put a new roof on, then,
And it's there.
yeah, it's,
I wonder if Brittany remembered. I'm almost positive. It's 90, it was 99.
well, we should look into that
Yeah, yeah.
before we, I mean, we'll do it before we vote on the
Yeah.
budget anyway.
Yep. That would be interesting because Berlin has been very interested for years in getting the solar
Oh, yeah.
component to this.
It's a great
if they
idea.
can-
I bet the town would know what year the.
100%. Eloise would know.
All right, so perfect. So who wants to reach out to Eloise? Carol, you will? All right. Okay, great. All right, so that
Okay.
was Berlin Capital.
Yeah.
Is there any questions on that?
So the only thing that has been added for fiscal year '25 in the capital is a new fence for Boylston Elementary for $10,000. And that's if, that will be needed if the new preschool program goes to Boylston Elementary. So that's why that's been added in there.
Which playground are they going to put that around?
The one out back, right?
I don't know much
No,
about the.
that's the
Isn't that one?
preschool. That's not a preschool playground. You can't.
Boylston.
Boylston, they have two, so you're going to put it around the kindergarten one.
I don't know where the
I don't know where the
preschool
I thought
would
it told
go.
one.
No, there's two playgrounds. There's one near the kindergarten because that structure is for ages 6 through 12. That is in
The big
where the
structure.
swings are.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. That's not this one. That's not where she wants.
I don't know. You'd have to ask Cindy. I just think that if you put a fence there, they use those fields for softball. What is it going to go around the swings? You have to be strategic about that because the town uses the.
Yeah, but that would look good.
Well, if it's only around the
It's
mulch.
all about aesthetics.
Well, if only if it's around the mulch part.
Yeah,
Like
the whole thing.
The swings aren't in the mulch, are they?
Yeah, well, whatever that footprint is, it's a rectangle, so it would
So you
fence
just
that.
exclude the swings. Yeah, but
Yeah,
I
I
don't
would
think
include
that's.
the swings.
I don't think that's.
You could do that. Playgrounds everywhere are fenced with swings.
Do you want me to text Cindy? And just
Yeah.
ask her
Well,
what-
we don't have to talk about it now, but we
Yeah.
can stick it on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll
The
ask her
only
that,
I think
where
the
it is.
I don't think I think that playground is too. It's ages. That one's ages 6 through 12. I think the kindergarten one is what they have to use for the preschool
Yeah.
because you can't. I don't think that kids those ages can go on swings.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, because at Tohoto they don't have swings. They have certain structures they can go on. So it would probably be the kindergarten one, which is probably fine.
Okay, I'll text her.
And then
I just think about the for softball
No, actually, it works. Parents like it better with the fence.
because it's not gonna, as long as it's just on the mulch area and it's not
People
going to
there,
go
yeah,
into the
and it's
fields.
just- You just walk to that. You have
And you put it in the
opening that
fence.
way,
Yeah,
opening
go
that
in.
way.
Yeah, and then they're stuck in that fence. Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
Cool.
It's actually so much safer for the kids.
Yep. Okay.
And then there was adjustments, just more detail was put in for the playground equipment.
Yep.
Cindy just went into more detail on what she would like. And then Dan adjusted the updates to the bathrooms. The amount was lowered. He felt like he went pretty high.
Mm-hmm.
And so he would replace the partitions, the sinks, and power wash the floors and walls.
So he's not going to replace the toilets. Don't need to be replaced or anything like that.
He said the toilets are in good condition.
All right.
Yeah.
They're probably newer.
Yeah. And everything else remained the same. I mean, and unless you want me to go through it all.
No, you added the roof in for well, that was in fiscal year 26 anyway.
Yes. Yep.
So we have that as an agenda item to talk about next because
Before you go into that, I had
Yeah,
a
we don't
question
wanna-
for you. So
Sure.
this morning, before Megan had come in, you had brought to my attention about the heating
Oh, good call. Yes,
in
which
Boylston.
is unknown.
So
Yes.
do you want to add that
Yeah.
into the capital now? I didn't know if we
So,
had coverage.
I think,
We don't have much.
I guess we gotta wait and see. So it came to our attention that there's no heat in the, not in the cafeteria, but in the kitchen itself at Boylston Elementary.
okay.
Dan reached out to somebody, they're coming out to do he reached out to one vendor. That vendor came back and said the project is too big for them. It's a vendor that we commonly use. So it looks like it's quite a big project to get this fixed.
Uh-huh.
So now he's reached out to another vendor who will be coming in to look at it. So we're in the works. We don't have
Yeah.
a dollar amount. That this is where we stand.
Yeah.
So that is definitely
This is-
something that we will potentially be adding
Yeah.
if it comes in crazy enough that we can't cover it this school year.
That's what I was going to ask
Yeah,
you. Can
yeah.
we cover? We don't know yet.
Right. So, I mean, we could put it in, but I don't even know what to put it in for.
Do you know
I guess
when the people are coming in to look
He
at
said he
it?
was going to reach out to them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
so
we could
very
put I could.
unfortunate, untimely.
Right.
Well,
we
it
could
always
put a
happens in the
line.
winter.
We
That's
could
when
put
it
a
always
line and just leave
happens.
it blank for now, so we know it's coming.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would add that in there just so we know.
Kitchen.
Identify
Okay.
it.
Yes. Yeah.
But it's just the kitchen, it's not the cafeteria.
it's just the kitchen. It's not the cafeteria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the kids are going through there to get their food.
And the
Food must-
workers.
Dan says it does.
Workers
It does warm. According to Dan, because the ovens are on,
Yeah, the
so it
ovens are
heats up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But I'm sure when they get in, I'm sure it's
First
cold.
thing in the morning.
Yeah, it was like 19 degrees this morning.
Yeah, it was
So-
chilly.
What's cold this morning?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only an issue this
Um,
time of year. Okay.
So that's in the works. Oh, Dan also.
Oh, and you don't
moved-
want any pipes to freeze too, because it's a kitchen.
Sounds like it's been like this for a while.
Oh my.
Okay.
We did not know. Carol and I did
never
not
heard
know about
anything
this. This is the first we're
before
hearing.
This morning.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
Dan also moved down just the hot water boilers to fiscal year 27. He thought we could push that down. He
Okay.
thought we'd be okay waiting, so we moved those down. So there's a little movement that has happened.
I heard the stage, maybe it's a roof-related issue at BES. It leaks on the, it gets wet back there and it damages the equipment.
Oh, from the roof?
I don't know if it's on the roof.
How would it get wet?
It must be from the roof. I don't know. I don't know the stage. I didn't even know there was a stage.
No, it's
'cause someone
always
toured it.
covered up. Well, they do it like when they have the
Musical.
kids. Yeah, like the
Yeah.
kids do
Assemblies.
shows. Well, yeah, the assemblies, but not even all the assemblies. They don't pull it out. But like the kids are doing a patriotic performance. First grade does that.
Oh,
Second,
yeah.
all the different grades do their own
Yep, I love
performance or
that.
whatever. They pull it out for that, I think.
Mm.
Otherwise, it's totally hidden. It's got to be the roof.
I had heard at some point there was some water in the stage area. When we were there the last time, Megan was with me, and it showed up over in the
In the closets.
storage, in the storage closets, in addition to the main section of the gym. But I don't think we checked
It's
in
leaking
there.
all over the
I don't know if
equipment.
anybody else did. That equipment that was in the storage, and I don't.
Yeah.
So I don't know about this. I mean, we didn't see anything with the stage when we went.
We didn't
over.
look
We
at the
didn't look,
stage.
but we
It was
didn't
coming
look
right
either.
down
No,
the
we didn't
middle.
either when we did our tour. I didn't even
Yeah.
know it existed.
Yeah. No, I went when the roof was leaking and the water was coming right down the rafters. Like it was like right on every. It was like coming right down the middle, and then like they have this mesh fabric divider, and then
Oh,
Cindy
yeah.
was worried about mildew growing up.
Sure.
So they laid that out, and they were going to try to get some fans, and
Yeah.
it was a mess, to say the least. I snapped a few photos. So, I mean, I want to talk about that next, but let's do Tohoto first, and then I think we need to address that and figure out what Tohoto, it needs a lot of things too, huh?
Tonto has a lot.
Yeah.
So since last time we looked at this, the new things that have been added, aerate the fields has been added. It'll be the lacrosse fields,
That's the soccer field, obviously.
or is it? I don't know enough about the fields. Dan
it
just
is.
said
Yeah,
put
the,
lacrosse.
the ones where the bleachers are around in the middle of the track.
Okay.
That's
okay.
lacrosse field.
Yeah.
Then you also
Um,
have the field hockey fields across the way. I don't see them on here.
I
I see the baseball fields.
What are they going to do that next fall?
Field hockey and softball are on one side of the property.
Yeah, should we
Baseball and
add
soccer
field
and
hockey?
lacrosse are on the
I don't
other.
see that.
Yeah, I don't see it on there.
When would that need to be done?
Well, usually
So I honestly
right?
think the fall, you aerate twice a year, ideally. But I think you honestly just need to have a company go out there and do a soil sample and take a look and say, this is what, here's your yearly maintenance plan.
For all
Do it.
fields.
For the whole entire turf area, yep. And they may say, like, look, this is a school, we understand that funding is an issue. You may just have to piecemeal this project and do the high priority ones first, which I think would probably be lacrosse and soccer, and start there. Like, I wouldn't, I don't know, I think it'd be a hard thing to refurbish a track when the inside field is gonna have to get done after. Cause then they bring in like big trucks to refurbish, to rebuild
Oh.
fields.
Well, if they have to regrade it,
Right, you'll definitely, I've seen pictures, it is completely underwater. For
That field,
game.
yeah.
So should we do a soil sample now to kind of get an idea of an amount and then put that?
I think you're
put
gonna have
that
to,
in?
if it, for me, based on what I know about fields, they're gonna have to regrade the whole thing.
Okay,
It's just,
so let me revisit with
I think they
Dan
have
on
to bring in
that.
fill to bring it up.
So it's more, okay.
It's a big project, but, this could be a bigger project for Boylston on the whole, because Boylston has CPA funds now.
Yeah, I
And
don't know.
Schools are eligible for that.
But Boylston also has the other fields I know they want to use CPA money for. So
Yeah,
they would have to make the deal sweet enough, like you guys can, the town can use the fields when they're not in use. Like the baseball field could be used by like youth baseball when Tohoto doesn't have a game. Because why would the town agree to
Because
do?
your kids go there.
True.
You pay taxes for that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
anyway.
I guess that's true.
It's a
Well, it's the
surcharge.
committee has to decide.
Well, no, it goes to town floor. Like, all the committee does is endorse it, and then it goes to town floor. Residents
So
vote on that.
schools can put forth, districts can?
Isn't that interesting? Yeah,
I
we
didn't
just
know
voted
that.
this in Berlin, yeah.
When would that be put in?
So
We missed the deadline for
I
this
know-
year.
Yeah, for this year it wouldn't work, but for next year, I don't know what Boylston's deadline is, but for us in Berlin,
It
we do
was
a November.
November, yeah, it was,
Because then you have to meet with a bunch of
the end of
committees,
October.
conservation,
Yes,
and
it's too late for
school.
this.
For this, it's too late.
year.
But it's something to look forward to. If we have to piecemeal such a large project of $250,000, say,
Yeah.
You might
That's
say, okay,
exactly
we
what it
can-
would be for, is fill and redoing
And athletic
fields.
fields are one of the
Yep.
CPA.
That actually is true. I don't know about the track, but for sure on the
I
fields.
don't know about the track.
You're right, Julie.
But then you could use funding. I mean, it's just a smart way to think about it.
So then they'll have to prioritize, because I know the baseball wants to do.
They
well,
can,
they
but-
want to do BES.
They should. That's CPA
They want to do the
monies.
Manor. There's so many Hillside. There's so many projects.
But there's a lot of money available for a CPA.
Is there?
Yes.
So
Oh, I
if they
didn't know
do
that.
that this coming year.
Well, we all missed the deadline. I don't know that soccer submit. I know baseball didn't submit.
Boylston, the town missed the deadline?
No. So like the youth baseball would have had to submit a proposal. We did
Oh,
not.
you mean
I can
that's
speak to youth
individual.
baseball. I can't speak for
there's
youth
a
soccer.
CPA, there's a Community Preservation Act board.
Yeah.
It's made up of a representative from Conservation,
Yeah.
Recreation, Planning Board, someone from the town. And it's new in these towns, so like everything's new. You don't know the process
People don't
until
know,
you know
yeah.
the process.
Yeah.
So Berlin has done it for now. We're going into our third year. So there's a huge application process, but this is a Massachusetts thing, but you could just look it up online. You can see like how many things are funded by this. So a surcharge is added onto your taxes, and all that money comes into a pool, and 10% goes to rec and open space, 10% goes to conservation, 10% goes to historic, and then the 70% left, and it's available for anybody, any community, any group in town, as long as you meet the goals of CPA.
And I thought the state matches the
the
surcharge.
state matches
So
the surcharge.
if each person has a $50 surcharge, we voted this at town meeting. Boylston just passed it at this past town meeting. It was at the special election in December, I
Yeah,
think,
you guys may
maybe.
have that. It's a
So it was
great
a
thing.
year ago. So they just did their first year was this year, but we all missed the deadline. I saw it and I was like, oh, and then I dropped the ball on it because I had so many thoughts.
But
'Cause
so
we're looking
anybody
for-
can, anybody in town.
So they have a
Boylston
pot of money already
Elementary,
sitting there
yeah.
for this
Big.
year. Do you know how, maybe this would be April that we could talk to?
Well,
about
I know-
How do we?
I know
who
I know-
applies for us? That's my question. Who
We would.
applies for the athletic?
You would.
We
Me.
do.
Us.
The school district would
Anybody,
send an
yeah.
application.
Like, how does that-
Boylston has a committee.
Would
It's
be you.
the select board appointed a committee
Yeah.
in Boylston. I can't speak for Berlin, but I know in
The same
Boylston.
thing. That's how it's.
Yep. So we have some residents on there. I actually know one of them well. And we've got, I think the select board sits on it, but I
No,
think
they
it's
don't.
No, they just appointed the people.
No,
but
there's-
they
there's-
bring everything to the select board.
No, you have your own board in town, and the board is made up of 7 individuals, and it's a representative from those 4 things I just said, and then
Oh, right,
there's
and then
2
there's-
town reps.
I thought we had
Actually, it's 6
3
individuals.
town-
You're bigger, so you might have 3.
Okay, all right. Because I was gonna say I thought but maybe they only got 2. I don't know because I know there was
Maybe.
like a bunch of people that wanted to do it and they were gonna get people from different. Okay, so there.
And then
I
you
know
meet-
Boylston has a committee, and I know the select board assembled the committee. We were at the meeting. We were at the meeting when they were talking about it, and all the people were arguing. They wanted to move it quicker. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Well,
it's
kinda,
it's
yeah.
just It's
So
a forced savings.
So we might want to talk to Matt or one of the select
They're
board
not gonna
members,
get the
or
money. Boylston has like a year.
Yeah, I know, you guys, yeah.
Because the money.
Yeah.
So I think they don't get it this year. They get it next year. So the stuff.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know. Yeah, we should talk
It's just
to him.
something to keep on the radar. I was unaware the schools are eligible.
Yeah, we should.
But
talk
Yeah,
to
that's good to know. I can ask. talk to
certain
Matt.
things, though, you can't replace doors and windows. It's athletic fields,
Oh, yeah, no, I know.
you know,
Yeah,
that sort of
yeah,
stuff.
Outside.
Yeah, outside.
But it goes back, going back to the capital planning, if what we need to do, so this looks like maintenance costs for the aeration, that's 6,000.
You need to do
Yeah.
that multiple times. You said like
Twice
something-
a year?
Twice a year.
6,000
Spring and
would be
fall.
for twice a year? Do you know,
No,
is that
it's
one
not.
time?
That's
No,
once.
I thought Dan told me it had to be done every 3 years, so
So that's gotta be,
No,
because
twice
that
a
would
year.
be 12,000.
but
Plus
even
we're adding
more if
on-
we go down to do the soil sample
Right.
and do all
Yeah, the
that.
soil sample should just be a few hundred, because they'll just come in.
But
and
they might come
test.
back with something a lot higher than
Well,
12,000.
all the aerating does is it quite literally brings out a huge machine and drops holes in the ground. That's it.
Okay.
It's for that
Wow.
money.
So
That's
what would the
it is.
soil sample show?
Soil
I
sample will just show what your pH. I only know this because I went through it. I didn't know it either. What your pH levels are. So then what you need to treat with to get.
Oh,
your grass.
You don't,
So it's
don't you
not
do
like
this on
the
your
cost-
lawn? We do this. We have ours
My
aerated
husband
every
does
fall.
this.
Okay.
We don't do it. I have no lawn. I have
yeah.
chickens, but. So aerate drops it, and then that's just all that does is opens up the oxygen in the soil, and
Yep.
then you have to move to your maintenance plan. You still have to fertilize. You have to seed.
You
need
reseed it,
grub
yep.
control. You need weed
So 6
preventative.
is not enough.
Not even close.
Yeah. What would you recommend?
6
I
is
mean,
probably what
I'll
you
tell
spend on
you
your
for
house.
the turf at BMS, just to give you an idea, because you know that area there. It's $27,000. This is a base minimum to aerate twice a year, fertilize, seed, grub, and that's what 9.2 acres.
Hmm.
I don't know what the acreage is at Tohoto, but you have kids. But that's and they don't play on that like they do here. This will be.
Yeah.
And that's just maintenance. Before you even get to maintenance, you have to build the fields up, which would probably be.
Yeah, so I would say instead of having the
Hundreds.
maintenance on the capital plan, I think maybe we need to get a quote on having the fields regraded and redone
100%.
at Tohoto. And I know we said the turf was kind of off the table, right, because of the environmental regulations, because it's so close to the DCR property.
A certain type of turf.
Okay.
I think there are other
Yeah, there's
options that
environmental friendly
she
ones
mentioned,
now.
yeah. But
So, I mean,
But
maybe
turf to
kind-
maintain's very expensive.
Yeah, that
very.
the kind that we're,
Right, because you gotta, like, yeah, I
very
can't even
expensive.
imagine what you would do. Yeah, so
You
probably
know,
grass
linking
is,
turf now to cancer.
yeah.
yeah, I think grass
It's
is
not turf's pretty nasty stuff.
Yeah, so we just want the fields or
I would just get some company out here to start there, yeah, and see what
Get
they,
some quotes.
Yep. Just get a quote and say like, okay, this is what you need, and then you can go from there and say to another company, here's what we would like.
Do you
Here's
have
what
the
we would
name
like.
of the company you can send us that you use
Mhm.
for BMS?
Yes, and he said he would come out and
Oh,
do
good.
it, and they rebuild fields up.
Because the other one, I don't know if I can say that, I think I remember.
Yep. I know who you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the one that has been doing this,
Correct.
right? Because that was discussed
And-
at the last meeting.
Yep. And that's great work.
Meeting.
You know, there's great. He does great work.
They're
He really
good,
does.
okay.
Yes, very good. But this is this is going to require big.
Maybe bigger than that company.
Maybe I think he's a big company. Yeah, I would get some. I would speak to, maybe in my opinion, I would speak to the coaches that are on that field and let them say like they have had to freeze the field. They can't use it when it rains.
Yeah.
They have to move the kids to the hillside.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
parents have taken pictures. They have pictures of what it looks like in front of the goal after. So then the company that comes out can see, holy cow, wow, this is a big situation here. Here's what we need.
Do you know who would have photos
Yes.
that you could send to us as well? So
Yep.
we can share that with the
Yep.
company so they can see something that they may not see when
Yep.
they come,
Yep.
for example? I think that would give them more information.
So do you want me to reach out to the company and to get the photos before, or you want us to get the contact for all that?
If
Send
you
the
have a good
contact.
yeah, send
I
it
do.
to us. We'll have
Okay.
Dan do that work. And if you, again, if you have photos from, I mean, that's just helpful for them to have
Sure.
a chance to look at it, but I wouldn't worry about the contacting and all that.
All
We'll
right.
do that. We'll just have Dan work on that.
Should I take them out in the future years? Because really, aerating fields, just aerating the fields should go in the general budget,
That's what I thought.
right? So maybe we just do one line item for next year for whatever amount this comes back at to have it done and take it out in the future years. Does that sound, okay.
Yep.
The only thing is we have, like, we'll have IT in there, and that's reoccurring costs. Wouldn't the fields be something similar?
This is just
It is
made
not-
as
it's not really
though.
capital.
Maybe I'm not
It's
thinking
not
through that.
capital.
Yeah, it's
It really
not
isn't
capital.
capital.
This is the equipment. The IT is it's actual equipment.
Okay.
So
Different.
yeah, I think
Take it out.
the aeration is.
But we'll leave it in for next year, just as, because of the work, right?
Okay.
So I'm not gonna just say aerate fields, I'm just gonna say athletic field repair.
I mean,
Yeah.
even some of the.
Gonna add 2 more figures in front of the 6 too,
Yeah.
which is gonna be a lot, but I mean, it's a necessary thing.
And this is interesting because I'm wondering with these leases, and maybe this is something we look at with these leases, you know, there's a lot of this stuff like HVAC repairs and like the walkways and, you know,
Right.
the windows, the roof, like the fields. If we're leasing these buildings from the town, why isn't the town responsible for these repairs? And I guess if we put it in the capital plan, the town is essentially, right? The town covers the capital expenses, Nancy?
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
According to the regional agreement, any capital expenses over 5,000.
Exactly. So that's what, yeah. So I guess it's like there's such a gray area. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like,
Yeah.
until we get these leases, like,
Yeah.
Yep.
finalized.
That's what I feel like.
That
that's
you
a
know,
huge-
like, should aeration go? I mean, that's a great
Oh, then I would
question.
put
Like,
that in the
that's a
capital.
gray area. If we're leasing these,
Yeah.
I just don't know the answer to that without these lease. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I just, you know, same thing. Like, because I'm seeing the HVAC repairs. Like, yeah, absolutely. We don't own those buildings. Why are we? Why would the
I know.
schools be responsible for that? You know, so I think maybe after we get these leases straightened out,
Yep.
there will be more clarity,
Mm-hmm.
hopefully.
Yep.
But yeah, I guess for now, take out aerate and then maybe have a line for somebody to come and give a quote
Yep.
or a blank
Yeah, we
line.
probably won't be able to have that done till this spring. Because they come out
I
now, they're not
know.
gonna.
Well, you know what? I've
Wow.
been trying to get someone for baseball to come out. We can't even get anyone to come out right now
To do a quote?
for the manor.
Because of the weather, or
You-
because
No,
there's
I've
no one
asked-
available?
I just can't find anybody.
Because of the weather, maybe.
Yeah.
They
No,
don't
I've
come.
asked like a couple. We've had 2 different, and I won't say who, but we've had 2 different people. One from out of town, one from in town, and it's just like, oh, yeah, okay, we'll come, and then no
Oh, no,
show.
okay.
Like, just don't. So clearly, like, not interested in the work or too busy for the work or whatever. But I mean, it's the fields in the town, so it's not like a small job. It's,
Right.
you know.
Make
So I don't
it
know.
a manor. I'm trying to think.
Oh, it's the field off of Orient. It's in between Orient and Greenwood.
Greenwood, yeah.
It's like
Greenwood,
it's
is that-
it's the only baseball fields in
You wouldn't even know
Boylston.
it's there.
Yeah, I don't know that.
'Cause you
one.
can't even see it when
That's
you
where
drive.
youth baseball.
All
There's 3
neighborhoods.
fields. They also do. They used to lease it out to AA. What was it called?
Spartans, no.
No, what was it
No,
called? You know what I'm talking
Yep.
about. On Sundays. Yeah, so the town owns that field. It's similar to like a hillside for soccer.
Oh, okay.
It's where all the
It's
youth
that large,
baseball.
though? It sounds
There's
large.
there's a playground back there. It's there's
Playground-ish.
Yeah, it's like older. Yeah, I don't know, Julie. It's probably the same size as the fields in Berlin. It's just not attached to the school.
Oh.
It's 3 baseball fields are there.
Wow. Okay.
Yep,
Yeah,
and a
it's pretty
playground.
big.
And there's tennis courts and basketball courts. I don't know if they're like great. It's not really maintained great. But anyways, yeah. You can take a ride over right off Route 70. Drive down Orient Street and you pull right into there.
It's right there. All right. I
Yep.
can
Yeah, it's cute.
see where it is.
Yeah.
So this is good because I think we uncovered something that we have been wanting to do, thinking about it, but doing it well and the
Yeah,
right way and
yeah.
addressing this is how we're going to have to do it. So
Yep.
I'll talk to Matt and or April about the
CPA.
CPA, right? And
Yeah.
get some information on deadlines and how we apply
Yeah.
and those kinds of things. So the process of these things.
I know, yeah, and I can, yeah, that's a good idea. Because as a board, you don't even have to talk to Matt or April. There's a chair of
Yeah,
that
the chair of
board.
that board.
Yeah.
I'll find out.
I
don't
can
know
tell
who-
you who that, I have that.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's
No.
probably online. I'm sure they have their own
Amanda
webpage,
Bear
too.
is a member on the board. I don't think she's the chair.
Oh, okay. Yeah, can you find?
Yeah, I'll just text her and get, ask her
let me know
who,
that is.
yeah. She's
Yeah,
a
that's a
parent.
good idea.
Yep, she's a parent, she's
You know
also
what
an
else we
attorney
should
at Myra.
consider too? This will be the last thing about the budget, is looking at the athletic coaches' stipends too, when the last time those were raised.
Is that in the contract, Julie?
Yeah, we're in
Is it in the
negotiations
contract?
with the teachers next year, so it's definitely
So
something
that would
can
be part of
looked at.
that
Yeah,
discussion?
that's definitely in the contract, I think.
Yeah, it is.
Their stipend is
They
in the
got one more
contract.
year, and then negotiations are next year. So,
Yeah, it'll
it's,
be-
it's in the contract.
Nice.
So, yep. You think they're low?
I think they're low,
Yeah.
but I mean, I know we're small, so, but I
Yeah.
think they're low. I mean, yeah.
Yep.
But we would want to get comps on.
Correct.
From other
Other
areas,
areas,
similar
yeah.
to ours, and
Our
see what they
size, yeah.
pay. They have
100%.
time to do
Yeah, I
that.
vaguely remember doing that when we did the contract, but I think we maybe just kept it as is. I don't think we increased,
Well, probably because there was no information, there was
there was no
comparable
information,
Yeah.
right?
gathered at that time.
Yeah, we can look
Yeah, but that's worth it, we're looking into.
Mm-hmm.
Last thing I want to talk about was BES.
The roof.
So I see the roof is in the, so I guess,
Yeah.
the biggest question, and I think, I don't want to dismiss it. So I'm looking at this BES capital plan, right? And it's over $5 million in 2 years, another $1 million in 27. And that's, best case scenario, because we don't know what else. And we don't even have windows on here, but we know we need the windows are a mess over there too. Like we said, we have windows that close, windows that are broken, windows that leak. So I guess the biggest question I have, and I don't know that we're not gonna be able to answer it today, but I mean, what long-term is the district's goal? Should we be thinking about building a new building now, or should we be investing in this current building? We've heard from multiple people, the building has really good bones, it has a good structure, right? So I guess the question is, do we, is it possible to take out like a $20 million bond and do some of these repairs and do some of the things we want to do? I can't even remember, do we have on here? I thought the other thing too for BES, I can't remember, the paving, the playground, the
Yeah, that's not next year, but the year after we have it in.
paving, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Repave the lot and add it, like we're out of spaces there, that's right. Definitely space is not an issue in that building,
Not yet,
right?
right.
So they're gonna have to add a classroom this year, and then they'll have to add a classroom next year, but they certainly have the space for that. So I guess I think this question has been looming over us.
Yeah.
Do we make these investments now and maybe even more, to get this building in good shape for the next 20 to 30 years? Because what's the useful life in Berlin? I think these are things that we need to kind of figure out. And I know Mike hates meetings to have meetings, but I almost feel like we need like another subcommittee that isn't just
Yeah, I agree.
us.
I agree.
That's members from these towns, because it's gonna, at the end of the day, if we as decision makers, meaning the school committee and the superintendent and the business manager, decide, yeah, we're gonna go forward with a new building, it's gonna actually affect every person in the town, right?
Yeah.
There'll have to be an override. It's just like what went through in Shrewsbury. There'll be a vote. So I mean, but I think it's a question that we've kind of come to this point, right? Or do we build a regional elementary school? We've talked about that. Do we just, maybe can we take a $20 million bond and put some money into BES and get it in good shape for the next 30 years? And with that 20 million, what would we redo get the parking, like fix the parking, add spaces? Do we add like an addition? Do we, we still, what do we do with the roof? All this other stuff. Do we take out all the windows, replace all the windows? So I guess that.
Yeah, we keep asking the questions.
We keep
but
asking the
know.
questions.
Out
What
there,
are
but-
we gonna do? Like who?
But I think to your point,
We can't
this fall
just-
we asked the towns, Boylston, to join with us to have these discussions, right? So perhaps we need to make that happen, because I don't know if somebody's going to have to spearhead that.
Somebody
Yeah.
has to spearhead this project, and I don't
so I
know who.
think
I mean, the town owns the building, right?
But I think they'd like to. I think it'd be really healthy to have them part of this, because they're considering their buildings, the other buildings right now too,
Mhm.
and what they're going to use those
Right.
facilities for. So maybe I'm not sure they know, but I
No.
mean, I'm just speculating on that. They may have ideas about what they want to do. Why not ask them if we can physically set up a time to create that meeting and start this conversation with them.
Yep.
They're going to want to be included. They're going to need to be included. I think it would be healthy to do that, because we keep asking these questions and we just ask them.
Yeah,
to each
before we
other.
put $4
I know,
million
we just
in
asked
for a
them, we just
roof, because
asked.
that quite possibly could push the town to have to do an override. I don't know. I have no idea, but I'm just saying, we know we were there. We need to do something. We can't have another rainstorm and have these buckets everywhere and the leaks. I mean, it was just a frantic day at the school, right?
Yeah.
And
They saw
you
it.
can't cancel school for rain. And then if we do get, like, let's say, what if we got a foot of snow this weekend and then it's going to be 50 degrees 3 days later? Like, that's going to create another major issue. So we can't keep band-aiding these issues and be like, oh, it's all good, don't worry, because then, well, water, mold, mildew, you know, we're going to ruin the facility if we don't take it. So I just feel like, yeah, I mean, maybe we reach out to the select board and see if they want, you know, maybe we have a meeting, we start with the select board in April, and we see if they, you know, somebody from the planning board, and maybe
FinCom.
Yep, FinCom, and we say, this is what, I know Boylston FinCom has reached out. They're already asking about the SRO. So, I mean, I know they're forward thinking. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I just don't know what the right,
I know.
because it's like we can't
Who
just
starts the
keep,
ball rolling
well, who
in the
starts the ball rolling?
conversation?
I just know that if we have another rainstorm and we're going to be like, you know, we were in there and it was just like, I'm having deja vu. We've done this like 10 times last year. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's.
Is there anybody in the district that's gone through this? People at Tohoto did, right? We've built a school before.
Yeah.
How did that?
Well, we built a school, but I think there were different conditions that forced that to happen. I mean, the school was older. It was seriously in need. I mean, a lot of what we're describing are things that can be repaired, and I think
That's the
modernizing
thing.
the school. I think the town, my sense just in the conversations is that the town does want to keep that school, that they're not prepared to offer an opportunity to build a new school at this point. So I
Fiscally,
think
right, you
I think
mean.
it's within their fiscal interest to help maintain that building as well.
Yeah.
It's right. So what do we need to do around that? Unless I'm.
I mean, the
unless
other.
they do feel differently, but I'm unaware of that at this point.
Well,
So-
the other perspective that we bring is then we've got this elementary school in our other town in our district that's getting close to capacity, right?
Yeah, closer every year.
Exactly.
Yep.
And I mean, we've seen a report where the school can fit, 25, 30 more kids? That's not a lot. That's not, oh, we're good for 20 more years.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Right.
that other wrench is, you know, okay, so we've got this school, we may run out of space over there. What are we going to do there? Are we going to get portables? Are we going to add an addition? Or does it make sense to build a regional elementary school? I don't know. So, I mean, I almost think, yes, we start the ball with Boylston, but us as a district, we have to be thinking about Berlin as well, because if we go in and we're like, oh, we're going to make 20,000 or 20 million of repairs and, you know, cosmetic upgrades to Boylston, then what happens if all of a sudden, like in 5 years from now, we're at capacity at Berlin? What are we
Right.
going to do? Because it's not like Boylston has a ton of capacity. Or, oh, we'll just take 50 kids and put them in Boylston. Then, well, like, what happens then?
Right.
We don't want to spend all this money and then be at capacity at both buildings. You just don't know about the growth.
Right.
But I just know that 20 kids over like 10 years, that doesn't seem like a lot, right?
No.
Not with the growth rates.
So at the risk of calling it a subcommittee, I feel like it's like a task force. We want to get
Yeah.
an answer in the end, so it's not a long-term. This is an ongoing subcommittee.
Yes.
This would be more like a task force who
Yeah.
representatives from the school committee and the towns
The
separately
towns
or
have to,
together.
the planning boards,
It almost
they
feels
have
like
to,
what we were offering
yes.
that evening was joint across the two
Yeah.
towns. I would love to do that.
They'd have to like meet monthly or something like that.
Because this
and-
is a vision of the future. I mean,
Yeah.
what are we going to provide for our students? It ties into what we determine we need for the future of the children, what they'll need,
Yep.
the space, the opportunities in the building, the classrooms, the subjects that they're gonna be teaching, right? The content, materials, all of those kinds of things, in addition to just the facility alone.
Right.
So it's it grows and grows, right, to
Right.
what we need. But I don't think again, we're not gonna make the decision today. But I think
No.
we need to have voices in here to make a recommendation that we can all at least have a concrete plan to discuss going forward, a concrete recommendation.
Yeah, and
Right.
we can't just be like, Boylston right now, the roof is leaking, the windows are leaking, it needs a lot of work. But at the same point in time, we have to be strategic about this and keep in mind, in the back of our minds, oh yeah, Berlin is it's pretty close to capacity. Like before we, as a district, are
Well, and it's odd, in certain grades it is, in Berlin.
certain grades it's already at capacity.
Right, and then other grades, it's really low, I mean, it's
Yeah,
low.
it's
and
Yeah, like the
it's-
kindergarten.
So it fluctuates, and we talked about those options too, about do we consider sharing students across the district, offering that up as an option for parents?
We'd have to redo our regional agreement for that. I mean,
Right,
either
we
way, I
would,
feel like
we would.
action has to be, right? We gotta
yeah.
fix.
We have to do
Yeah.
something.
Some
Yeah,
of
we have to do
this,
something.
and this kind of falls, the first place that this would fall would be this committee, right? Because we're facilities in the budget. So, all right, so Carol, why don't we try to talk to Boylston and maybe, the planning board guy from Berlin, now we know him, or we can
Yeah.
talk to some people from Berlin and get their feel on it. I know they're probably like, a new school? We don't need a new school over there. No, but what happens if we're gonna spend,
And
if
that's
the
a
district
question
is
he's
gonna
asking us too. What
Yes.
happens if?
What
So
happens if?
We don't.
know. You tell us what happens
Right.
if.
We're all
what
saying
happens?
that to each
yes.
other. You-
We have to plan. So
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think it makes perfect sense, yeah.
yeah,
Task force on that, okay.
Just gotta find people to sit on that task force.
but that's gonna be
That's the
that's
challenge.
gonna be the
Yep.
that's gonna be the. All right. So
I feel like Mr. Campbell would be good on
But
that.
I think we will, because I think we're all invested in getting direction.
Mm-hmm.
there will be people that have voices about the facility, and they wanna. I think there will be some people that come out of the woodwork, hopefully, and want to help. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
I think it's more going to be like Portrait of a Graduate, where you're going to have to tap certain people on the
it
shoulder and say,
is.
"Hey, you
It
have this
is.
expertise. Can you help us?"
Yeah. Agree.
That's
So-
exactly it.
Agree.
All right. So
Great.
we have our school committee meeting Tuesday. So Nancy's
Yep.
president. We're all set with that. So when do we want to meet again? Do we want? We're not doing the budget presentation until February 27th. Do we want to do it? Maybe we're all out of the vacation is the week before our school committee meeting. Do we want to try to meet like February 9th? What do you guys think?
Yep.
Because we'll have to have that agenda. Although you guys
Sorry,
aren't
hold
off on
on.
that week, but we'll try to get that agenda early for that budget meeting on the 27th. So maybe we meet the 9th. Or is that too early for the budget, Nancy? What do you think?
Do you want to do the 23rd? Is that the week?
That
we're
is
off?
school vacation, so
The
I don't-
16th?
we could do the 16th.
I won't be here.
All right, yeah.
I could do the 15th.
Yeah, and I can't do the 16th of Assabet Valley. Could do the 15th.
Do you want to do the 15th? That will be,
Sure.
because I feel like everyone might be out of pocket during break. I don't have specific plans, but I know it's
Yep.
break, so it's kind of kids are home. All right, so the 15th, we want to say 10:30 again?
Yep.
Did this work? 10:30, 11:30? All right, so Nicole, you got that, the 15th, 10:30, because I always forget. I'll put it in my calendar right now, so I know. February 15th, 10:30. All right.
We might have some answers then around the aeration, all of that. And
Oh, right.
know more by then too.
That would be great, yeah.
Subcommittee
And even talking to some of these folks over at the town.
meeting, 10:30. All right, great. All right, so I'd like to move to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
All
Yes.
in favor?
Aye.
Meeting
Aye.
adjourned. Thank